enough to return home at their same level of independence, they can stay here for a short while. We typically, a short while is 1 to 2 weeks, get some physical therapy and return home.
Okay, so a chance to return home, and that is kind of an inpatient stay that they'll do that on. Is that
Yeah, it's actually inside a hospital. So a swing bed is inside a rural access or critical access hospital. We're very small. We only have 20 beds. So a lot of one-on-one ratio. We don't run a super high, difference from nursing home. They might have 30, 40, 50 patients. That's where, the max patients we're going to have is 20.
okay? Now, this swing bed program, I know that in the last year, I think you got some additional beds. Even is that the case?
Actually, we kind of stayed around the 2022. We actually are only licensed for 20 now, with our renovation that we did. Kind of took a couple beds out so we could add some great amenities to it. So still very small hometown.
But with that being the case, in 20 beds are allowed, or you're able to have those 20 beds. What did it mean to be able to just kind of renovate and have a lot of those renovations kind of focused on the swing bed program? What did that allow for you to do?
We got a completely new, we call it an ADL gym. So it allows for our patients to actually do real life things, laundry, dishes, cooking. They practice everyday tasks to increase their confidence and their independence before they go home. And it's made the world of difference just in getting the patients out, getting them, that extra individualized, personalized care to make them have that confidence to go home and be independent.
Okay, so really gives them an opportunity to kind of get back into the swing of things on their own,
Yes.
while also being under the care of folks that give or care for them, and then are also just kind of making sure that things are going as well as they are. So, for you, Mamie, what kinds of conditions or situations do you see most commonly lead to a patient needing a swing bed?
There's a lot of different things. People, I mean, really, it's just a lack of confidence to going home after like acute illness, COPD or infections, congestive heart failure, exacerbations. Even, I mean, people don't even think about like a small, simple surgery for a bowel obstruction, or bigger things would be like a stroke or an accident, car accidents, broken bones. We also do IV care and wound care during our swing bed as well.
Okay. Now, is that something that obviously it's probably going down the list, but they meet with provider, and then does the provider maybe recommend them a swing bed? How does that kind of go from start to finish in terms of maybe how it's lined up for them to actually have a swing bed?
Yeah. So most of the time, the patients are in a bigger, what we call a tertiary hospital. So, your Memorial Hospital in Springfield or St. John's. We get patients from Peoria, Bloomington, St. Louis area. And what happens is they send the patients there because they acutely need to be in the hospital. Um, they get all of their acute illness figured out and lined out, but they don't have the strength or the endurance, or they might need some IVs. So outside of hospitals, they actually send us the referral, our team for our swing bed, nursing, therapy, pharmacy. We all review it. Obviously, we have to have the financial insurance aspect all approved as well. And then it's a really smooth transition. As soon as we, are able to accept the patient, they meet all the criteria, then we even have transportation and we'll get the patient in and get them started on their recovery aspect.
Okay, so interesting. So some things that are provided, it's almost like they kind of move them along and then say, all right, we know that they need a little extra time. We've got a swing bed program that's in Pana. Let's see if we can get you connected. So what's that like for you in terms of having to work with all those different hospitals and coordinating all those different things to make that transition just as smooth as possible? Because it sounds like there's a lot on your plate.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Is we have an amazing team here that we all pull together. We all work. We have everything, technology based. So we actually it all happens over a computer base. We have a online referral process, and they send it to us. Our case management team does an amazing job of going through the referrals, and we knock them out pretty fast. We normally, if you have a referral that's sent to us, we normally can give an answer within a couple of hours that, hey, yeah, we can get them in, we can accept them. Sometimes insurance dictates a little bit, but other than that, it's a seamless process. Easy. We probably go through anywhere from 10 to 12 referrals a day, probably.
Really? Okay. So hopefully, with that being the case, then you mentioned maybe just a few hours even for them, but I feel like that's important in terms of getting them to the swing bed just as soon as possible or being a part of it. So I feel like that wait time being as minimal as it is probably a pretty important piece to it. Well, maybe you might have mentioned this when we were first talking about the Bridge to Home Swing Bed program, but you guys recently completed that new therapy room as part of your construction project. Can you describe that space a little bit? I know you touched on that, or I think you did, but what makes that space as special or really kind of enhances the patient's experience? Because it's a little different than maybe what you think of with the swing bed program.
Yeah, we added a brand new whole kitchenette, so it's got a washer, dryer, um, refrigerator, freezer, the cabinets. They can do dishes, and most older patients, they don't use their dishwasher or whatever. So we actually have the actual sink that they'll work on standing tasks and balance, and to do their everyday activities. We've had patients cook us up cookies and eggs and just whatever they want. They get to go through that routine, knowing that that first day home when they may not have anybody, they have the confidence. I already did this. I did this while I was in the swing bed program. I can go home and do it at home. So we have fun with it. All the patients love it. We also added a complete modified handicap accessible bathroom, but we actually went kind of old school and we left the actual full tub. A lot of patients don't have that handicap accessible step in shower or step in walk in shower. So we actually did the tub. So they actually have to practice stepping over and modifying it, which most patients have at their home. Makes it even more confidence. And, like I said, that independence is just really what we strive for.
Well, and taking care of all aspects of how to take care of yourself when you do get home. It's not just obviously cooking the food, but taking care of yourself, cleaning yourself, things like that. And so to know that ability there to just transition seamlessly as well, you go from your service, whether that's a surgery or whatever the case might be, to the swing bed program, and then you transition right back to home, and you can do that in kind of a seamless way and pretty quick way by what you've described to us so far. We're speaking with Mamie Campbell, swing bed coordinator with Pana Community Hospital currently. So, Mamie, how do rehabilitation therapies, maybe physical, occupational, speech, play a role in helping patients transition from the hospital care back to home under your program? We talked about them being able to do things on their own, but what about some of those rehab processes?
Yeah, so physical therapy and occupational, they kind of work hand in hand. We work on in the swing bed more of a what we call a functional independence. Meaning, we do functional exercise. It's not like you're going to ride a bike or do, multiple exercises. We're going to focus on the functional aspect. Your ability to stand up and sit down and get in and out of bed. Make sure your balance is okay while you're doing all those tasks. Making sure if you have 12 steps, we're going to make sure you can do those 12 steps before. Really mocking, what the patient needs to be able to do independently to go home as safely as possible and as quick as possible. We also offer speech therapy full time as well. They work, focus on diet needs. If you have, you're having a hard time swallowing or, you've had surgery and you've had the tube in your throat, then, you might have to have some modifications. So we work on that, making sure it's the safest for your swallowing. We actually do swallow studies here while you're on the swing bed that can make sure we are, meeting the goals for sure, keeping you safe. They do swallow strengthening exercises. And then the cognition aspect is like more, I consider it like mental therapy. Like I tease my patients all the time that you think I work your legs, they're going to work your brain. So making sure they can make those safety skills of, making sure they know, okay, that, I have to put the oven on 350, but after I get done cooking it, I got to remember to turn my stove off so I don't burn my house down.
Yeah.
So it's a whole process that we all work together really well to meet those patients' needs.
Well, it sure sounds like it from this end of things, whether it comes to the rehabilitation portion of it, whether it comes to just getting you back into the swing of what you need to do when you go home, being able to get you into the swing bed, maybe in hours time, and transport you, take care of it. It just sounds like it's a really easy process for the patient, and that it's taken care of on all levels, from the recommendation on down, or the referral on down. So love to hear that for you as well. What about for patients and families who might be considering the care of the swing bed program? What are the biggest benefits of staying at Pana rather than maybe going to a larger rehab facility or nursing home even? What would you say is the biggest takeaway or biggest benefit?
Small town.
Mm.
I can't preach it enough. Like we are super small, but every single one that we have here is a team member, from housekeeping to dietary, the entire program. We care about our patients 110%. We're focused. We're small town. We're going to know you by your name. You're going to get to develop a relationship with us. And our hearts are driving into getting our patients home. We have a 90% success rate over the last year and a half. That means 90% of the patients that have came into our program, they have gone home within 8 to 8.5 days, and they've succeeded. They've stayed at home. They've made it work. They've had no return to admissions or falls once they've gotten home. So that right there, just that individualized, personalized, small hometown care is what you're going to get coming to Swing Bed versus, we only, like we mentioned before, we only have 20 beds, so versus going to a nursing home or a bigger hospital where you might have one nurse to 10 patients. You're not going to get that here. We're all going to work together as a team and make sure that your needs are met. You're not waiting. You have individualized, personalized care. We're going to give you 100% to make sure that you meet your goals, you have fun, and that you succeed when you go home.
Sure. And maybe a comparison that almost comes to my mind is like going from, a 20 person classroom to like a 100 person lecture hall. And then the care and the personalized approach to it is completely different. It might not even be there when those numbers continue to climb. So having those 20 beds, I do believe, really allows for that personalized touch to it. And I think that does make all the difference. It makes you want to do it rather than knowing that you have to do it. And so, Mamie, let's take ourselves a break. We're talking with Mamie Campbell, swing bed coordinator with Pana Community Hospital here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. We'll come back and talk more with her about just that. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. Dinner time just got easier with Pizza Pana. Enjoy great food that includes amazing pizza, tasty pasta, salad bar, and chili. On Monday nights, enjoy the spaghetti special with garlic bread and a side salad for $8. On Tuesday nights, come in for the lasagna special with garlic bread and a side salad for $9. On Wednesday nights, grab yourself an individual pizza and side salad for $9. Pizza Pana is proud to be serving Pana and the surrounding areas with great Italian food since 1985.
Summer's heating up, and so is your grill. Stop by Oconee Chop Shop, your local USDA butcher shop right off Highway 51 in Oconee, Illinois. We've got premium cuts of beef, pork, and chicken, plus barbecue sauces, cheeses, eggs, sodas, and more. Need custom meat processing? Bring in your own animal, and we'll handle it start to finish. We also do custom deer processing October through January. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 1. Find us on Facebook or at OconeeChopShop.com.
The Taylorville Tornadoes are on WTIM. Listen on air or online for all football, boys basketball, and playoff games of both teams on AM, FM, and streamed on the WTIM mobile app. Sponsored by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Christian County YMCA, Rural Rentals, and Scooters Coffee.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are going to do it today.
The trees are changing as the weather gets cooler. If you're dreading the leaf raking and snow shoveling that comes with this time of year, Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth is your answer if you're 55 and better. Relax and enjoy the changing seasons without all the yard maintenance worries. Plus, it's half the cost of most independent living options. No stairs, no worries. Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth. Independent living done right. Find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
If you're 40 and over, you'll recognize these artists by their first names. Frank, Dean, Sammy, Andy, Nat, Diana, Michael. Well, here's the big news. You can now hear Central Illinois' largest music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 965thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 965thechill.com.
CNB Bank and Trust has been helping open doors for Central Illinois farmers since 1854. Find out why they're among Illinois' top ag lenders by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Bob Raddings of the Bob Raddings family of dealerships. See our huge inventory of about 2,000 vehicles by clicking on our ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station. WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Pana Morning Show, coming to you from our Taylorville studios with Pana civic, business, and nonprofit leaders. The WTIM Pana Morning Show is brought to you by our title sponsor and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Along with your Pana Save-A-Lot, Pizza Man, Noren's Hardware, Bob Raddings Pana, the Nokomis Dairy Queen Pana Bowl, and the Oconee Chop Shop. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and our guest in this segment, we've got Mamie Campbell, swing bed coordinator with Pana Community Hospital. And we've been touching on the swing bed program and how their rehabilitation services and also their new therapy room and more help out in that transition back to home with a 90% rate in doing so. What about transportation, though, Mamie? It can be a major barrier for follow-up care, but what about the transportation that's offered through your swing bed program?
We actually have our own transportation service, which is a phenomenal service. I think we're probably the only hospital in the service area that actually has a transportation vehicle. We have 4 of them. We have drivers that go and, if you're stuck in a hospital or say you have a broken leg or you can't get in and out of your normal vehicle, the wheelchair accessibility vans that we have that will go pick the patient up from those tertiary hospitals, bring them in, get them set up. If they are here for a week and they got a doctor's appointment that's back up in Springfield, we'll actually take them to the doctor's appointment, make sure everything is a seamless, family can meet us there, family can ride with us. It's a completely free service to the patient. Even after they would happen to leave us, as long as they're coming back to, our services or the provider, we'll actually pick them up from their home, take them to their doctor's appointment, and then take them back home if that's needed.
Wow, so it continues on even after we've let go of you with the swing bed program. But I like to hear that too. And that goes back to that personalized approach and making sure that we know you and that we are taking care of you. Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with this next question about how does your team coordinate the care? We've talked about how seamless it really does seem to be on this end of things. But how does that go from your end? And how do you make sure that it is as cohesive and well planned as it is?
As a patient, I think that not knowing is probably the toughest thing about being in a hospital and just not knowing, what the day looks like or the next. We do a really good job. We meet daily with our patients, our hospitalists. We round as a team. We make sure, everyone's on the same page. We're all meeting for the same goals to get the patient home. We can, if there's any setbacks, sometimes they happen, but we have the doctor right there that can address any setbacks or any medical issues that may arise. And it's literally a seamless process, and it makes the patient feel so much more confident and comfortable knowing that we're here to meet their needs and take care of them.
So not only does the process itself help kind of ease their concerns or maybe also support their independence, like we've talked about as well, but just everything from the very start to the finish with the program. What would you say to someone who's nervous about it?
Nervous. I mean, I don't think that there is any reason obviously being in a hospital makes anybody nervous, but in the same aspect, like I promise everybody here at Pana Community Hospital swing bed program is going to do whatever it takes to get you home, meet your needs. We're going to treat you like our loved one 110%. You're going to become our family, and we absolutely care about getting you home independently. We have amazing staff, amazing food. I mean, I haven't had anything. We actually got a national award last year. So if you have any questions or you're nervous about it, even before, you can always come and take a tour, look at us, meet our staff 110%.
Well, I think that would also certainly ease any concerns or question about what my care might look like. And I think talking with you here today should certainly help that as well. Well, Mamie, we're just about out of time here today, but I do want to thank you for spending the extra moment here with us this morning and kind of on late notice as we came to find out through you. But I do want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
And that is Mamie Campbell, swing bed coordinator with Pana Community Hospital, joining us here on the WTIM Pana Morning Show, brought to you by Noren's Hardware, Pizza Man, Your Pana Save-A-Lot, and more. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.